All right, hey guys. This is J-Man here.
This is Sean.
This is Steve.
Okay, we're trying it out this new format here. My background sucks, and Sean's background sucks, and Steve's got his epic background. So Steve looks like the big epic ruler of all of them. We're just trying this format out and see how it works. If you guys like it, let us know. Drop us a comment. Sean and I always do like audio stuff. I thought let's have some video going because it's a little bit more interesting that way. And then Steve's going to be joining us probably for most, if not all, of the things. And we might switch it around. It might just be like Sean and I, might be Steve and I, and if Steve and Sean want to do one, that's cool too. But we'll see how this goes going forward. Let us know in the comments what you think. And it's a super random topic today because this is just a test. I thought we'd talk about Jaws because it's been 45 years. My opinions on the series have changed. There's the 4 movies, and I think we're going to try to rank them. We're going to keep all these videos to 30 minutes or less so that people don't shoot themselves. Once we start ranking something like Friday the 13th or Halloween, we'll see how long it goes. But Jaws, there's only 4 movies. I think we could do 4 movies in less than 30 minutes, I would hope. Okay, are you guys good with that? You guys,
yeah.
Jaws?
Sure.
Everyone has seen all the movies?
No,
Yep.
no, actually, I haven't seen part 4.
Oh, you haven't seen part 4? Oh, darn.
Four's
I know,
great.
I know what it's about.
Yeah.
What's that?
I know what it's about. I know, like, Michael Caine's in it, and the shark's going after the widow.
Because see, the thing is that like I've got a very unique perspective on Jaws: The Revenge or whatever, but. Okay, so Steve hasn't seen it. We'll try to, since this is a test, it doesn't matter anyways. Steve, you're going to have to just sort of defer to Sean and I's thoughts. If we have the same thoughts, I have no idea. Do we want to say, just to be done right away, do we want to say that Jaws 1 is the best? Or is
It's the best one.
Yeah.
Best one? Okay, so, that's a no-brainer, right? This isn't going to be like when we start getting into like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th where people might have different ideas.
Now, Jay, your opinion of Jaws actually changed because when I first met you, you actually fell asleep during
big time. Yeah, I thought it was boring and garbage. There's no shark in it, so I thought, oh, Jaws, he's on the poster, and eventually he'll show up. And I thought it was boring and garbage for the longest time. I owned Jaws 2, 3, and 4, and not 1. when I saw, okay, my opinion on, this is interesting now. Okay, my opinion on Jaws 1 at that time was I had just been heavy into horror movies. I've watched tons of creature feature stuff, all the Godzillas and Gamera and King Kong and all the kaiju things. And I watched a lot of anime. That's why Disney films weren't so big for me because I'd watched a lot of anime growing up. So the Disney kids were all like, oh man, Disney's the best. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. So everyone's like talking about Jaws 1. I'm like, well, the shark doesn't do anything. Like, I'm like, I don't care about these losers on a boat. Like, they're not gonna, So that was the thing. And then I had to grow into that movie. And then when I bought it on Blu-ray, and I think I got that storybook one that opens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I got that one, I rewatched and I thought, wow, this is incredible. I'm like, wow, I was just a dumb kid. But that's one thing that you have, since you pointed that out, it's like, you know what? That's what people should do. I'm tired of somebody watching something and saying this is garbage or this is the best. I don't like super high praise on a first viewing, and I don't like super, barfing on something on the first viewing, unless it's like The Room or some silly movie that we know is cheesy.
Yeah.
Like everyone says Jaws is good. So my interpretation is that perhaps I was wrong. Maybe something in my mind, I didn't get it. Same with Blade Runner. I fell asleep on Blade Runner. I thought this is boring. Nothing happens. And that's another one that I revisited, and now I think it's one of the best films of all time. And I think Jaws is an awesome movie as well. But did you guys like Jaws 1 from the beginning, or?
Yeah, I did. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I grew up with it on TV, right? So, and there was always an event because it's long anyways. So with commercials, it's super long. So when it was on TV, it was a big event, and we watched it. Sometimes we watch it in the backyard or something like that. Like my dad would get the extra long, like coaxial cable. I like it because I like the camaraderie of the characters. It seems like a cool, like, epic thing, right? This shark, we gotta kill it. So it always seemed like a good movie to me. And as I grew up, I like the friendships and everything that went along with the movie. So was cool.
Steve?
Yeah, see, I watched it when I remember vividly when I first saw it. I was 16 years old. I was at my aunt's place, and I was spending the summer hanging out at her place. And she said to me, she was putting on movies. I remember that's where I saw like Quest for Fire. Um, she never showed me Grease, which was funny because that was one of her favorites always. But she said, "Have you ever seen Jaws?" I'm like, "No." I obviously knew what it was. She's like, "You never seen Jaws?" And so she threw it on. And I was struck immediately, like, I think the movie really starts to work when Richard Dreyfuss's character comes in. Because until then, like, the Roy Scheider character, Brody, has no idea what to do. Like, he's so out of his element, and he's so, like, he's the outsider. He's not accepted on the island and stuff. So it was really hard to, like, he's just going to get, he's not going to fix this. He won't fix it until Richard Dreyfuss comes in, because he's actually an expert. He actually has an idea, right? But like, even at the end with, like, you have Shaw, right? Robert Shaw, you got his boat, and he was a lifetime mariner. And you have Richard Dreyfuss, who was the expert, and then you have Roy Scheider, who's the law. These three different components that are supposed to be like protected still cannot, like, still seem overwhelmed. Like, at the end, what I find funny about Jaws is it's almost like a fluke that they won, right? Because Robert Shaw gets taken out, Richard Dreyfuss essentially is out of the picture. It's just Roy Scheider versus the shark, and it's a one in a lifetime shot that actually defeats the shark, right? Like, if he didn't make that shot, Roy Scheider's dead, and that shark just keeps killing. So I was really, like, surprised. Like, these are the type of movies where they all team up, and then, like, they come up with this great plan. It narrowly works. I never felt like they were ever in control of the situation. I always felt like the shark was controlling the situation, and they just happened to luck out into winning, which I found really interesting for that sort of movie.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit slow, but, like, it doesn't matter because it is a build-up, and the three of them together teaming up, the big predator pencil pushing. I wish they had done that in the movie, like, but, like, yeah, them teaming up and going out is awesome, and that whole entire sequence is good. I'm glad they changed it. I didn't read the book. I don't know if you guys have, but
I did.
You did read the book, yeah, where they Benchley's book, where I think they're having an affair, right? Like,
yeah,
is it Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah,
is having an affair with
Brody's wife.
Brody's wife, right? Okay.
The book was not really that good, I found, and I found that shocking, because you always hear the book is better than the movie,
right?
And that is usually the case. But, like, the book was really disappointing because I liked that camaraderie obviously a lot, and they didn't have that. Like, Brody actually inadvertently killed Hooper's character in the book because he found out he was having an affair, and he sort of, like, maneuvered it so that the shark would get Hooper.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that sucks. I don't want that.
Yeah, it did. And, like,
that ruins this. Because they did that in the movie, and then if the guy tries to go against them, that's not good.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then, like, the ending is still, like, Quint gets killed. Quint's a different character. He's not like terrible or anything, but he's just a different character. He's bald for one thing. He's a little bit more, like, I don't think he's as salty. He's more like, he's almost like a military guy from what I remember. But, like, just the whole affair thing, because they actually break into the affair for a while, and I'm just like, what the hell? If no one thought the shark showed up in the movie, then he certainly didn't show so much in the book.
All right, well, okay, so we're gonna say one is the best and just be like, everyone's talked about this movie to death, right? Like, is there any other points to make on it?
Yeah, just one thing. Most of what's in that movie, if people watch it now and not ever watching it before, you're gonna think it's really cliche, because a lot of it has been ripped off and re-ripped off, and like the mayor wants his big celebration, even though there's a shark in the water and all that stuff. I mean, all of this has been done to death since Jaws.
Right.
So it's gonna look sort of pedestrian if you watch it without ever having watched it before, but it's still a well-told story.
I think they ripped off some of the shots too. Like, there's that shot where Brody's on the beach and they do that fast zoom into his face, like, and it seems like the background almost blurs a bit.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
that's been
the
ripped
Spielberg
off
shot.
so many frigging times. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Spielberg's big thing, right? And then everyone tried to rip off Spielberg's shot. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one's the best. Now, what's the next? So now two. I always thought like 3 and 4 were. I always thought the movies got better because the shark got more into it and did more damage as it kind of went on. Do you
They
think
got more imaginative with well, at least 3. 2 is almost, it's forgettable. I don't remember a lot from 2, man.
2 is too much of a carbon copy. Like, it feels like a lesser version of part 1 because you don't have Dreyfuss or Shaw. It's just Roy Scheider himself. The shark's still doing stuff. Yeah, Roy Scheider knows a little bit more now, but again, it feels more like a carbon copy. Like, it feels like a lesser version.
It is a sequel. Like when they say, oh, it's just the same crap all over again. And, I always thought going back and watching, I was like, well, 1 is so good because of the drama and the characters and just like their, camaraderie and all that. And then 2 doesn't have that, but has the same sort of going nowhere idea. It's like, okay, the shark's back. And it's like, and it's not like there's so much more killing in it or something to make it work. It's not like Friday the 13th where it's like, okay, let's up the body count and then that's more fun because now we get to see more slasher victims. It's like it's the same amount of carnage by the shark, but it doesn't have the characters to back up anything.
And that's why I thought 3 made more sense than 2, because the whole thing about that shark in Jaws was a freak of nature. Like, the shark was abnormally large. Like, sharks don't normally get that big, even great whites, right? So, like, for a second shark to show up and be like just as big, doing the same thing, I'm like, what the hell is, like, it's just too much. Like, that's why 3 made more sense to me, because it's like different area, different environment,
Yes.
That to me made a hell of a lot more sense in part 2.
So I have a question about 2, because I haven't seen it in a long time. What's the French joke everyone keeps talking about? Like, there's some sort of controversy in that movie about a French joke that was cut out.
Oh dear.
Does anyone remember that? Or
no, I haven't watched it in a long time. It's not the one I go to. Honestly, if I'm gonna throw one in, I throw part 4 in, to be honest.
Yeah. Was
But,
4 canon or no? What was it, a canon movie? It just seems like a canon movie. I don't know.
It might be. It does seem like a canon movie. Let's see, Jaws. Let me look that sucker
It's just
up
a
here.
cheap, slapped together thing with 1 or 2 stars.
Jaws the Revenge.
The crazy thing about part 4, without ever having seen it, is Michael Caine is in it.
Yeah, he's
in it. Yeah,
he's like the big love interest guy or whatever.
Roger Ebert. I was gonna say Roger Ebert interviewed him one time, and he said, I have to ask this question. Jaws for the Revenge. He's like, okay, and Roger Ebert was like, you get out of the water at one point, and in the next shot you're bone dry, and then Michael Caine laughed. And he's like, yeah, we would wait like 5 hours for the next shot. Like, it was pretty awful. So you like dry off, and it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about the French joke because I just don't remember, and it's not canon. It's not, but it does feel like a canon movie, and I think that's why I liked part 4. 3 had the cool underwater area, which you knew was going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, even as a kid watching that, I saw those underground tubes. I'm like, that's being smashed.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't making it to part 4. Like, that's gonna be smashed. And then you're just waiting. It's like when Lou Ferrigno's about to show up in Hulk. You're just waiting for him. I'm just like, okay, when's the shark gonna smash this thing? And that's all I cared about.
Yeah, Jaws 3 is awesome. When it's double billed with the second Creature from the Black Lagoon movie. That movie has Creature from Black Lagoon in SeaWorld. So it's like you get 2 SeaWorld movies.
Yeah, because part 3 is the creature walks among us or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like,
part 3 is cool because I like all the 3D BS. I like all the stupid 3D crap. Like where stuff is just going at the camera for no reason.
Oh my god, it's 3D.
Yeah, it's like that SCTV, like 3D House of Beef. It's like. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Friday the 13th Part 3D is the greatest 3D film
That's the
ever.
best one, yeah.
That's the best one. Every single
There's a
thing is a 3D.
yo-yo in 3D. There's popcorn in 3D.
Yeah,
Everything. The guy does his laundry in 3D with the thing.
Yeah, like, yeah, he's hanging his laundry up, and you're like, whoa. Like,
Yeah, that's one of my
laundry on
favorite
my
ones.
face.
I always pop that one in. It's so stupid. They break the window in the car. You know, and it
Yes,
has to be 3D, right? You know.
smashes.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna say 4 has gone too crazy to be considered as the second best, or
4 is entertaining.
I mean,
I've
it's
always thought 3 was the second best.
yeah, it's sorry. Okay, so Steve, would you agree that 3 is better than 2?
yes.
Okay, so we now 2 has moved down, 3 is up. Would you say 4 is better than 2, Sean?
Yeah, 4 is way better than 2.
I love part 4. For
Yeah.
me, it's between 3 and 4 for the second spot, because I like my entertainment to be like, the first one is what I call a real movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like Back to
Yeah.
the Future, right? It's a real
Yeah.
movie. Karate Kid is a real movie, right? Jaws
Yeah.
the Revenge is craziness, but Jaws 1 is a real movie. Jaws 3 is trying to be a real movie, but
Mm.
it kind of has some dumb things
Yeah.
that are like movieisms or
Yeah.
schlocky. Whereas part 4 is like, yeah, whatever. The shark is enormous. It destroys whatever it touches. We don't care. Like, how did it know where what's her face was going to be to track her
Yeah,
down?
no, does it go from one coast to the other? It does,
Yes,
right?
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so how did
I
it get
heard that.
around the North American continent?
That's why I like part 4. Because
Why would a shark have a vendetta like that? Well, how would a shark even know?
well, firstly, if you reference any of the actual evidence that talks about sharks, you'll know, Steve, that they always seek revenge. You know nothing. Look up any manuals, any books. Sharks are ranked at the #1 spot, maybe #2. I think the first one is orangutans. But they're ranked #2 as the most revengeful animals. If you do anything to a shark, it will get revenge. And they've got like cult mentality. Like it'll trickle down. Like the babies will have to get revenge so that was very accurate. So I'm glad that, because that's a little known fact. So I'm very glad they addressed that in Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws 4 is the Rocky 4 of the Jaws movies.
Yeah.
It's Rocky 4 is a guilty pleasure, and now it's made way better by Creed 2. But
we'll have to do the
yeah,
Rockies
it's
with
like
Creed.
there's a lot of comic book stupidness, and there's a robot in that movie, right?
Of course.
And it's like, but it's still fun. Like, you still find yourself popping it back in and watching it, right? And Jaws 4 is like that. It's dumb, but it's
dumb.
entertaining. It's fun as heck, right? So
yeah, like I want like a legit real movie. If you can't produce a real legitimate movie,
it's a creature feature.
Yeah.
Using
exactly.
yeah, that's what it is. So yeah. I just want to double back to part 2. So the French thing was the title, when it was translated to French, sounded like the last few phonetic words sounded like the French word for poo. So they got they that was a controversial thing. So they had to like rename it.
Well, it was either Jaws 2 Electric Boogaloo or just Jaws 2. So I'd rather just go with Jaws 2 than with throwing.
There's only one Electric Boogaloo. That's Breaking 2. I know everyone loves it. I love that name, but yeah.
All right, so we're about 20 minutes in already. Time flies. Okay, so what do you want to? Do you want to say 3 because it hasn't become stupid yet? Like, is 3 still like a pretty legit movie with some fun elements, or has the silliness gotten too much and now it's become kind of this weird, like Batman Forever, where Batman Forever has real movie elements,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has a lot of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But whereas Batman and Robin is pure silly. So do you is Jaws 3 like that, or is there enough still legit parts that maybe it should be better?
3's silly, I guess. It's
But it tries to be
I don't know.
serious also. Or do you think
Yeah.
it doesn't try to be serious? Maybe.
Taking, without having seen Jaws, if we take the Batman thing, I think Batman and Robin is better than Batman Forever. I hate when a movie can't figure out what it wants to be.
Right. So you'd prefer to have just complete silly stupidity
Yeah.
versus half of it being somewhat intelligent and then the other half being stupid.
Yeah, because you ultimately end up wondering why the hell the movie couldn't have been more like the serious or intelligent.
Right. Well, okay.
Or the
Let's
other
not
way.
do too much Batman because we're going to save that topic because
Yeah.
you brought this up. We're gonna do all the live action Batman movies, and that'll be good. Okay, so Jaws 3, you think, Sean, is still better than 4?
I think that I like 3 a lot. So like my
Okay.
personal preference is 3 is better than 4.
I'm very, and because Steve has seen 3, and I'm very like, I'm not, I don't know where I am. I'll go with 3. So we're gonna say Jaws 1, Jaws 3, and then 2 or 4. We're saying 4, then 2.
4 than 2, yeah. Well, that's my ranking. So
Yeah, because 2 doesn't have the interesting characters or the interesting. It doesn't have the writing. It doesn't have the meat and the weight that Jaws 1 has. And what it does have is just done better in Jaws 1. So what was the point of Jaws?
There's not a lot you can do with the concept. That's why they only made 4. Like they would have made a 5 and a 6 and a 7, right? You know, like Back to the Future. Right? What number are they on in the future? I can't remember. Jaws
yes,
9 or.
Oh yes.
I just watched that 2 weeks. I just watched the trilogy again the other day. 2 weeks ago. It was like Jaws 29 or something. It's like this time it's really
there wasn't
personal.
a lot you can really do, right? And I mean, other things like Deep Blue Sea is a variation on it, right? Like a genetically engineered shark, right? So
I didn't watch the Meg. There's the Meg.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but okay, so this is okay. I did get a pop-up, which is good, saying that running out of time.
No longer has a time limit.
So I think that first part of our testing counted as well. So we're going to say it's Jaws 1, Jaws 3, Jaws 4, Jaws 2. Is everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so that's good. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap that up then, since we just want, this is just a quick test, you know, see how this works. So I'm pretty happy with how that all went. We got our Jaws movies out, so that's good. All right, well, I guess that'll wrap it up for this one, and then we'll think of better ideas, and we'll, you know, plan ahead better next time, and hopefully I can do something with my video and my audio. But all right, I guess that's it then. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.